A retirement plan is a great start, but what happens next? Why you can't set it and forget it right now on Retiring Today. Welcome to Retiring Today. I'm Molly Nelson here with Loren Merkle. Loren is a certified financial planner, a certified financial fiduciary, and a retirement income certified professional. And that means Loren, you sit down with people every day, you help them develop retirement plans. So we know that some of the people watching, they've developed retirement plans with you and your team, and some of the people watching have a retirement plan and they're feeling good about that. First, we want to say congratulations if you do have some kind of a plan.
That's a great start because most people who are looking to make that transition to the retirement phase of their life actually don't have a retirement plan, let alone a written retirement plan. So if you're one of the lucky few who have a written retirement plan, congratulations. That is a great start. That may not be the end, though.
Yeah, and this concept for today's show stemmed from questions we sometimes get in our Retire Ready phone calls, and they'll say, well, Loren or Sean or Clint or Haley, once you write me a plan, it's bye-bye. We're done, right? Just write me up a plan.
I distinctly remember a visit that I had. This is the second visit with this gentleman, and he said, Loren, I love everything you're talking about. We're talking about my tax plan. We're talking about how I'm going to get income when I retire. We're talking about how I'm going to have income 20 years in retirement. I love it all. But I feel like once we get this plan all set up, it's set up, and I don't need you guys anymore. And since we started working with that gentleman, there have been many changes in his life that have taken place, like his mom. His mom passed away. And so he inherited some money from his mom, different types of money, different rules around those different types of inheritances. Legislation has changed significantly since we set up his plan the first time. So he has come to the realization that there, in fact, are many things that can take place over the course of one's retirement that would require adding on to the plan, subtracting from the plan, just changing the plan as life changes.
Yeah, and that's what we want to get at today is you use the term set it and forget. You know, I think of the slow cooker, the chili you have going all day. That's great when you're trying to, eat dinner later in the day and start it early. But when it comes to retirement, that just doesn't work. And we want to explain to people why, because really at the end of the day, you want to make the most out of your retirement. You don't want to just hope that it's going to be done when you go to take the lid off. You want to know that it's going to get you all the way through.
I think if there's one phrase that we can all walk away with from today's show is that your retirement plan is not a set it and forget it. And the reason why it's not a set it, forget it, because life changes. Your life has always changed. It will continue to change even in retirement. And then there's other things outside of your control that can also change, like legislation. Just a prime, quick example of how some changes outside of your control, like legislation, can actually have a big impact on your overall retirement plan. Some of you may remember the Secure Act was passed and took place January 1st of 2020, and there were many provisions within this legislative change. In fact, over 60 retirement planning provisions involved in this, but one of those provisions affected the required minimum distribution, which is the law that says once you reach a certain age, you have to start taking distributions from your pre-tax accounts, like your IRA or your employer type of accounts like the 401k. So once you reach a certain age, now prior to this legislative change, that age was 70 and a half. But when the first Secure Act passed, it moved that age for some people from 70 and a half to 72. And then as if that wasn't complex and confusing enough, there was a revision to the Secure Act that moved it for some other people, the required distribution age, from 72 to 73, or for another group of people, 75. So if you're sitting here and you have some of these accounts, IRAs, 401ks, you've never paid taxes on that money before, you know there's going to come a time where you have to take a distribution. But now the question is when is that time for you? Because you're sitting around the kitchen table with some of your family and they're over 70 and a half, they fall within one piece of legislation and they're saying you have to start taking distributions out of 70 and a half. But you've heard from a coworker that actually you don't have to take them out until 72. And now maybe some people are saying 73 or even 75. It becomes very confusing. So if you are unaware of the type of legislative changes that take place, or even misinterpret these legislative changes, it can cost you dearly. Just a quick example. Let's say your required distribution amount is $10,000. You're in the 22% marginal tax bracket, meaning that the Secure Act law took place. You thought you had to take your required distribution at 70.5, but in fact, you didn't have to take it until 72, but you went underneath the old legislation. You took the $10,000 out, 22% federal tax bracket, $2,200 in tax. You took the distribution out, you didn't have to. You paid the 22% or $2,200 in tax. You didn't have to at that time. If you were aware and interpreted the legislation changes appropriately for you, then you have now a whole bunch of different options that don't involve paying taxes on money you don't have to and just taking it out as distribution. Like, as an example, you could just do a qualified charitable distribution, which means you're not donating to your churches and nonprofit organizations that are meaningful to you in cash, but you're taking it from your pre-tax IRA, sending it directly to those organizations. You don't pay taxes on that. They don't pay taxes on that, and they can benefit from your contribution. That's an example. Or maybe even just a simple Roth conversion where you're taking money from that pre-tax account, you're shifting it over to the Roth. You will pay taxes, but you're doing that intentionally because once that money is underneath the Roth, it grows tax-free forever. An incredibly powerful strategy pre-RMD age, and for some people even post-RMD age. But if you're not aware of how the legislation changes impact you, these ideas, these strategies may not be top of mind for you to take advantage of along the way. So there's a lot of things that do change. Some of these things are outside of your control, some are in, but you need to be aware and then understand how they apply to your specific situation.
Okay, I heard you say something there. I got tripped up on it was interpret the legislation. Now, I know you read that bill. I know you read both Secure Acts pretty thoroughly. I've read a little legislation in my day as my time as a news reporter. Interpreting legislation is not easy for most people.
Well, it's not easy, and also it was very vague. So there were aspects of that bill that were very specific, left little room for misinterpretation, but then there was a lot of provisions that left a lot of room for misinterpretation. And so even now, all these years later, people are still wondering how those provisions actually apply to them. And when I say people, I'm not talking about novices. I'm talking about scholars in the industry are still discussing what does that legislation actually mean. And so there has been a lot of conversation back and forth with the IRS on some of those. And knowing what those conversations are and what the current takeaways from those conversations, that's the guidance that you use to help you make those decisions. And if you're not on top of that, then it's a troublesome world.
And you set up kind of the point I was getting at brilliantly, is that I don't know that everybody viewing needs to understand the legislation, but it's like whether you want to cut your own hair or not, or whether you want to work on your own car. If you have somebody that you trust to read the legislation, trust to help you interpret the legislation, I think that's the kind of maintenance in your retirement plan and the value of a retirement planner on your team.
Yeah, that's the part that we really focus a lot of our efforts and time on in conversations. So the strategy reviews that we incorporate with the families and individuals we serve, we get together with them at least once a year and go through some of the legislative changes. And we don't go through the law and the legal aspects of it.
Good, you don't make anybody read legislation.
No, but we certainly go through the implications. What does this change mean to you? When do you have to take your distributions? How can you do it the most tax-favored way possible? Are there some other strategies and ideas like charitable donations? You're already gifting in cash to your church. Should you be doing it that way? Are there more efficient ways to do so where your church still benefits, you benefit even more? All these different things we talk about specific to the families and individuals, and then all the noise out there, right? All the misinterpretations, all the other legislation that's really not applicable, you don't have to worry about that. Let's just enact strategies that are meaningful to you.
Today we're talking about what happens after you have a retirement plan, but you might be wondering, well, I don't have a retirement plan, or what is a retirement plan? Our online Journey to Retirement workshop is a great way to understand what a comprehensive retirement looks like. So what you're going to do is you're going to go on a journey with John and Sue through their eyes. You're going to see all of the decisions that John and Sue have to make and what's coming in retirement. It'll give you a great understanding of exactly what a retirement plan is, a comprehensive retirement plan is. You can sign up for our online Journey to Retirement workshop at retirewithmerkle.com. But don't go anywhere, because we still got some more ideas about the things that should be happening after you put together a retirement plan next.
Anytime I have even the smallest question about my accounts or what effect the latest tax law might have on my situation, the Merkle Retirement Planning team is always there and quick to help. I'm so glad they treat you like family. I'm so happy to have such an excellent team working for my future and ensuring I do the best to achieve my financial goals.
Merkle Retirement Planning. Your retirement starts here.
Do you wonder if you have enough saved for retirement? Will your money last as long as you do? Will taxes, healthcare costs, and inflation derail your retirement? Get answers. Schedule a 15-minute retirement checkup call today. We can cover a lot in 15 minutes, including strategies you can implement now to start your retirement journey. Schedule a call at merkleretire.com. The first step to a confident retirement starts with a simple phone call.
Do I have enough saved for retirement? When should I take Social Security? Which Medicare option is best? How do I plan for inflation? Sometimes the road to retirement starts with more questions than answers. We're here to help. Join us for our upcoming Journey to Retirement workshop. Get answers and start your retirement journey with confidence. Our online workshop includes information on Secure Act 2.0 and changing retirement rules. Visit retirewithmerkle.com to register for an upcoming workshop. Your retirement journey starts now.
The Merkle Retirement Planning team provides personable and professional expertise unrivaled in this area. They include us in every step of the planning process. The peace of mind provided to us by the Merkle team allows us to fully enjoy this special time of our lives. Instead of feeling snakebit, we feel confident that with the Merkle Retirement Planning team at our sides, we can navigate any challenge that comes our way.
Merkle Retirement Planning. Your retirement starts here.
It's time for Your Journey, Your Questions. This is the time in the show when we answer questions from you. These are questions we received during our online Journey to Retirement workshop. So here's one of the latest questions we got is, what are the 3 phases of retirement? And Loren, I'm going to add a little side note here. The 3 phases of retirement, obviously something you talk about in the online Journey to Retirement workshop.
Yes, the person who asked this question must have been paying attention, because we do kind of hint at the 3 phases, but we don't go into extreme detail. But they picked up on the fact that there are actually 3 distinct phases in a retirement. The first phase is the phase that you're really thinking about probably 10 years, maybe even 20 years prior to retire. This is the go-go phase. This is when you're really excited, you still have motivation and energy, and you've been waiting for this time that now you have all this free time and you don't have to go to work. You can go chase the grandkids around, you can motorhome around the country, winter down south, all these things that you've been thinking about doing, right? This is the glamorous part of retiring, the go-go years. But eventually, it's going to transition into the slow-go years, where you have a little bit less energy, maybe a little bit less motivation to travel around the country or the world, or maybe even less energy to get outside the house on a more frequent basis. So things just tend to slow down a little bit, and then eventually that'll transition into the no-go years, where you really don't want to do much of anything outside the house. It's going to cost you something a little bit different probably. And one way to think about the spend is in the go-go years, you're spending money on all the things that you want to do, right? All the travel and activities. In the no-go years, you're probably spending more money on the things that you have to spend money on, not the things that you want to spend money on. But the 3 distinct phases, if we're lucky, all of us will see those 3 distinct phases of retirement.
And this goes well with what we're talking about today, because I'm going to guess, Loren, that in each one of those phases, you may have to retool your retirement plan a little bit. And that includes meeting with your retirement planner to talk about that next phase.
Prime example of how people's thought process change as they go through the 3 distinct phases is the legacy plan. One of the 6 pillars of a retirement plan is the legacy planning. During those go-go years, when you're doing all these activities and you're excited and on the move, most of you are not really thinking about the time that you're going to pass away and then how does everything transition, right? It should be a part of your plan, but that's not where most of your thoughts are. But when you get to the slow-go phase of your retirement and you're really confident about what it's going to take you on a month-to-month basis to do the things that you want to do, and you have enough reserves left over, right? Your confidence in your retirement really is probably at a high. Now you're starting to think of things like, do you give while you're alive? And certainly what happens to all of these different things when you do pass away. And the planning required for that phase of your life is substantially different than even the go-go years, where you're primarily focused on how do you get enough income from Social Security, maybe a pension, in your investable resources to do all the things you want to do.
And I have to think, Loren, that you can enjoy the go-go years a lot more if you know you have a plan to pay for the slow-go and no-go years.
Yeah, and that's why we address all of those really initially when you build your plan. So you have a written plan for all of those different phases of your retirement and the 6 pillars, but what your focus is how do you enjoy yourself in this free time that you now have.
And one way to enjoy yourself is to have a retirement plan, to understand how you're going to fund this retirement lifestyle. Our online Journey to Retirement workshop goes over just that. And as you can see, you can ask questions during that workshop as well, and we may answer them here on the show. It's retirewithmerkle.com. More on why you can't just set and forget a retirement plan next.
Do you wonder if you have enough saved for retirement? Will your money last as long as you do? Will taxes, healthcare costs, and inflation derail your retirement? Get answers. Schedule a 15-minute retirement checkup call today. We can cover a lot in 15 minutes, including strategies you can implement now to start your retirement journey. Schedule a call at merkleretire.com. The first step to a confident retirement starts with a simple phone call.
The Merkle Retirement Planning Team provides personable and professional expertise unrivaled in this area. They include us in every step of the planning process. The peace of mind provided to us by the Merkle team allows us to fully enjoy this special time of our lives. Instead of feeling snakebit, we feel confident that with the Merkle Retirement Planning Team at our sides, we can navigate any challenge that comes our way.
Merkle Retirement Planning. Your retirement starts here.
Do I have enough saved for retirement? When should I take Social Security? Which Medicare option is best? How do I plan for inflation? Sometimes the road to retirement starts with more questions than answers. We're here to help. Join us for our upcoming Journey to Retirement workshop. Get answers and start your retirement journey with confidence. Our online workshop includes information on Secure Act 2.0 and changing retirement rules. Visit retirewithmerkle.com to register for an upcoming workshop. Your retirement journey starts now.
You dream of a happy retirement, but there are some big questions to answer first. Do I have enough saved? When should I take Social Security? How will I pay for health care and keep up with inflation? Go to merkleretire.com to schedule a 15-minute retirement checkup call to talk directly with a retirement planner and get answers to your important retirement questions. The first step to your retirement starts with a 15-minute retirement checkup call.
Anytime I have even the smallest question about my accounts or what effect the latest tax law might have on my situation, the Merkle Retirement Planning Team is always there and quick to help. I'm so glad they treat you like family. I'm so happy to have such an excellent team working for my future and ensuring I do the best to achieve my financial goals.
Merkle Retirement Planning. Your retirement starts here.
This is Retiring Today. I'm Molly Nelson here with Loren Merkle, and we're talking about why you can't just set it and forget it when it comes to a retirement plan. And Loren, I was thinking about this. You're kind of saying it to the viewer. You can't set it and forget it. But you know what? I'm going to switch this around. Your financial advisor can't set it and forget it. They should probably be reaching out to you, not you reaching out to them, or it could be a combination of both, right?
Yeah, this really should be a true partnership where there's times that you need to reach out to your planner, but there's also times your planner needs to reach out to you. But no matter who's initiating that contact, there's a couple true things that should take place in most of these relationships, is there should be a scheduled contact. So a scheduled time on your calendar, scheduled time on your planner's calendar, where you guys have agreed that this time works to get together, and the frequency should be at least about once a year. Now, that's just the scheduled contact, but there's going to be other times within the course of that year that you might want to conversate or even get together with that planner based on different things that change in your life or outside outside of your life, like legislation and that kind of stuff as well.
Sure. So an annual get together, that makes sense. Kind of look at things, see where everybody's at. What are some other examples of times when maybe you've decided with your team, hey, we need to reach out to people and maybe make some changes to their plan?
As a part of a proactive plan, there's certain times that we definitely, as a team, need to reach out to the families and individuals that we serve. We put contingencies within most people's plan. And what that contingency means is if this happens, like, let's say we go through a recession, the market's down by 30%, our families and the individuals that we serve, their plans are not going to blow up. But there's contingencies for that, there's action steps then that we can take. Triggering events like a big down in the market, there's action steps that we then take to help take advantage of that overall market. And we put a name around that. We call that go time. So everybody in our team, a lot of the families that we work with, they know when it's go time, that means that there's an action step within the plan. Some environmental event took place, like the market being down. Now there's things that we can enact to help take advantage of that. 2020 was a great example of a perfect time frame of which we could do something like that. 2022, also a good time frame. And then each and every year, at least every 18 months, there's probably some kind of an event that we can enact a go time like provision in which we do a Roth conversion when the market's down, or even a dollar cost averaging strategy where we have some safe money that didn't get impacted by the big downturn in the market. Then we can take a piece of that and then put it into the market and buy low. What everybody always says as far as how to make money in the market is buy low, sell high. It's just really hard to do that, especially when you're retired and you're not contributing to something like an IRA or a 401k type of investment. But we have those things built in within the plan, and that's just one example of when we would reach out to the individuals and families that we serve to say, hey, it's go time. This is one of the contingencies in your plan. Let's start working on it.
While you were talking, I was imagining like a special red go time phone and maybe like some capes some people put on in the office. What do you think?
I was thinking you're imagining the time that you're at the beach, maybe building the sandcastle.
Oh, yeah. In retirement?
Yeah.
I'm already thinking about retirement. Yeah, I get that. Sometimes my mind wanders that way too when you're talking like, yeah, retirement. It'll get here someday.
The sandcastles at the beach are a lot like your retirement plan. It's not set it and forget it. You build a sandcastle at the beach, even if the tide doesn't come up and wipe it away, you have the wind, you have other elements. So unless you stay on top of that construction, it is going to go away. Your retirement plan, very much the same way. It needs attention. It needs attention from you. It needs attention from your advisor. It is a partnership. That way it doesn't get blown away by the environmental elements.
And you've done a good job of giving us some ideas of things that we need to be talking about with our retirement planner, even after we set that initial plan. But now I'm going to back up just a little bit, because for some people, they're still going, do I have a plan? They may have a 401k, but do they have a plan to spend out of the 401k? They might have an IRA, but they haven't decided which Social Security decision is best for them. So let's rewind and talk about kind of some of the work that goes into building a retirement plan.
Yeah, when we meet with somebody for the first time, almost everybody we meet with does not have a plan. They do have investments, right? They have their 401k, they have an IRA, maybe a brokerage account, but that is not a plan by itself. So we work together and we have a 3-step process that we have coined to help us develop the plan and stay on track. But within that 3-step process, there might be 4, maybe even 5 individual visits to help construct and then implement this overall plan. We make it a really easy process. It should be fun. There's a lot of financial stuff that goes into it. Maybe that's not your cup of tea, but I can tell you, getting to see what your retirement looks like on paper from a financial standpoint and how you can realize your retirement dreams, these things you've been thinking about for a while, that is the fun part. And when you can realize that, when you can see that, and the anxiety kind of dissipates and goes away, and you get to that noise of all the financials and things that you don't really want to think about, that it kind of evaporates, and you can see clearly how you're going to be able to live your retirement. That is fun.
That's a lot of fun. And maybe you can have a conversation about building sandcastles with you.
Hey, if that's a part of your plan, you got the grandkids that like to build sandcastles, let's go to the beach. You know, whatever your retirement is, your plan should reflect this. It's your life, your retirement. It should be your plan.
So it does come with decisions. You might be wondering, what are all those decisions? What do they look like? Here is a great opportunity. It's our online Journey to Retirement workshop. Here's what's going to happen. You can go to that website right now or use the QR code to bring up the camera on your phone. Sign up for a time and a date that works for you, and then you'll meet John and Sue. You will go along with John and Sue as they make all of these retirement decisions, electing Social Security, looking at Medicare and supplements, tax planning, all the things that are coming. Then what you can do is feel like you're more ready to understand exactly what a retirement plan is and how a retirement plan can benefit you. This is Retiring Today, and we thank you for watching.
The Merkle Retirement Planning Team provides personable and professional expertise unrivaled in this area. They include us in every step of the planning process. The peace of mind provided to us by the Merkle team allows us to fully enjoy this special time of our lives. Instead of feeling snakebit, we feel confident that with the Merkle Retirement Planning Team at our sides, we can navigate any challenge that comes our way.
Merkle Retirement Planning. Your retirement starts here.
Do I have enough saved for retirement? When should I take Social Security? Which Medicare option is best? How do I plan for inflation? Sometimes the road to retirement starts with more questions than answers. We're here to help. Join us for our upcoming Journey to Retirement workshop. Get answers and start your retirement journey with confidence. Our online workshop includes information on Secure Act 2.0 and changing retirement rules. Visit retirewithmerkle.com to register for an upcoming workshop. Your retirement journey starts now.
You dream of a happy retirement, but there are some big questions to answer first. Do I have enough saved? When should I take Social Security? How will I pay for health care and keep up with inflation? Go to MerkleRetire.com to schedule a 15-minute retirement checkup call to talk directly with a retirement planner and get answers to your important retirement questions. The first step to your retirement starts with a 15-minute retirement checkup call.
Anytime I have even the smallest question about my accounts or what effect the latest tax law might have on my situation, the Merkle Retirement Planning Team is always there and quick to help. I'm so glad they treat you like family. I'm so happy to have such an excellent team working for my future and ensuring I do the best to achieve my financial goals.
Merkle Retirement Planning. Your retirement starts here.